Everyone to please rise and join in the pledge. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we've got the approval of warrants and payroll rosters. I believe we have one. Is there some minutes? Oh, excuse me, hang on. I didn't see any listed. Is there minutes to approve? I didn't get the new. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm on the old agenda. Here's the new one right here. Okay, so I'm looking for approval of the minutes for January 8th and December 18th.
No
Is there-
corrections on my part.
No corrections, additions? Okay. Consensus. Approval of warrants and payroll rosters.
So we have one this morning. I move for approval of fund expenditures in a total amount of $195,025.51 as presented, and note that it has been reviewed and signed by 2 representatives of the auditor's office and the county administrator.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Takes us down to public comment. Is there anybody in the room for public comment? We have the phones available? Nobody on the phones? Okay. I don't see nobody coming forward. Takes us to the consent agenda. I believe there's 9 items on the consent agenda today.
Move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 9 as presented.
Second.
Been a motion and a second for consent agenda items 1 through 9. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Down to regular business. Like to again welcome all the athletes in the room and ask Mr. Sullivan to please come forward for the special.
And for the people that are listening also, the county for a number of years has helped support the Special Olympics program by way of our mental health developmental disabilities millage fund. And so we contract those dollars to the ARC of Tri-Cities, and Donna Tracy is our representative for the ARC that oversees the program. And annually we come in and Donna provides an update on the Special Olympics activities, and of course brings all of the athletes to with all of their medals to interact with you all and talk a little bit about the events that they've participated in and won medals in, and it's an opportunity for them to kind of show off the huge achievements that they have. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to Donna Tracy and have her come up and talk with you guys a little bit about Special Olympics.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. Well, I'm Donna from the ARC, and I'm so excited to bring our athletes. As you can see, we had a good turnout. Our coach, Martha. Martha, can you stand up, please? This is our bowling coach, Martha, and she's got all these moms who help her out. This is one of our teams. Thank you, Martha. And so we thought we'd bring this small bowling team with you. And this is our Sunday bowling team, okay, when we do competition. And we have a bowling team that practices year-round, and they meet on Fridays. We have cornhole that meets all the time on Friday nights. We have a variety of sports, totaling about 14 sports, with a variety of families and people participating. It really is a community support system. I would like to introduce you to the athletes. All right, guys, can I have you guys come up? Wayne is one of my first athletes I'd like to highlight. Wayne came to us from Spokane. And how long have you been here, Wayne?
Almost 4 years.
4 years. And when he got here, he ended up being at the mission. He had no supports, no family, but he was a participant of DDA State Services. So the case manager was able to help Wayne get into an adult family home, but it wasn't a community. Adult family home, you're left with $60 to go out in the community with and spend. That barely pays for your bus pass, that pays for your clothes. Anything you want to do out in the community, you're given $60. So Wayne found the ARC in Special Olympics. And so Wayne, what are all these medals from? What sports?
Basketball, volleyball, and track, and softball.
Right. I think one of the best things, though, is Wayne found a family. Coach, who
Javier Ruiz.
Javier Ruiz has practically adopted Wayne, and now he spends Christmas, birthdays, and everything, right? About practically every Sunday there. So Special Olympics is a safety net for our community, helps reach out and gives a lot of purpose. Let's introduce some of the other athletes. Thank you, Wayne. Greg, how did you get your medal?
I did bowling and I do biking. And
And you've been doing this a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you love it, don't you? Thank you very much. Okay, Brandon,
What was his name?
that is Greg Shear.
Greg.
My name Brandon Jones or all Jones and go to the pool.
He's swimming. He's on the swim team and the bowling team. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. Jeff,
Play football.
he's a play football guy. There he is. Thank you. All right. This young man, well, not too young anymore, but Sean came to us from where? What state?
We're in New York.
New York, am I? And so he won that medal there, and he's eager to start participating. He just joined our community, and so he found the ARC and is building a community here. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Clifford? Hugo, are you coming up?
I think Hugo's a little nervous.
Okay. Gracie, are you coming up?
Come on, Gracie.
Come on up here. Okay, Clifford. Clifford forgot to wear his medal today, but
I'd like to say that I've been a Special Olympics participant for school year and graduation.
yeah. So after school, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're a track and field man, right?
Yep.
Okay, that works. Thank you. Gracie?
My question. I thought could to my best babe. That's one.
Okay, she's won one medal. We're successful
And
with that.
her babe. My full friend, my babe. That's one.
Okay, just one. All right,
Yeah,
well, we'll win more.
I
Okay. Well, we're working on that. Okay. Christina, you have quite a bit of.
Yes, I've been on a cycling team almost like 14 to 12 years. And my coaches, the guys, like a father figure for me. And Dawn is like a second mother to me. And I met all my best friends on a cycling team. Danny Bruce is my best friend. And most everybody here is my closest friends to me. They're like family to me.
Thank you very much, Christina. Well, thank you. I just want to thank you. We come here every year to say thank you and show you what a good thing this is. It's such a safety net in our community. As people's parents pass away, and as Sean's parents pass away, and he's new in our community, does not have much of a safety net. So, and this is one of our newest athletes. He just won. Do you want to come say hello? Lily, hello? Say oh, that's not it. Well, anyway, he just did the first competition this year, right? And he won that medal in bowling. So, as you can tell, they're enthusiastic. Maybe not directional, but enthusiastic.
So Donna, just, commissioners, would you like to say anything?
I just want to thank everybody for being here today. What an honor it is to work with you, and what a great job all of you have done. Thank you.
It's really great to see you guys. Would love to shake your hand and thank you for working with each other and helping to inspire each other and being friends with each other. And I would love to become your friend and get to meet you. Thank you for coming and tell us about what you do, and looking forward to seeing you again.
Oh, perfect. Hey, we are looking for coaches if you want to become more of a friend.
And Donna, I just want to say thank you to you and the other coaches for all your hard work, for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Congratulations, athletes. Well done. Keep winning medals.
Okay.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So we'll move down to Commissioner Administrator updates, Mr. Johnson?
It's hard to follow that, but
It is.
I will try. It really is. Let me give you a couple of updates. Must be time to go. So a couple of updates on staff recruitments. We do have the planning director recruitment back out, so we are, we've advertised in a few locations, so we're trying to do some word of mouth recruitment as well. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on with that. I believe both the public record officer and the Office of Public Defense, who have interims right now, we have closed those recruitments, and so we'll begin the selection process for that. Teresa and I yesterday did interviews for the administrative assistant position, so we should have a job offer for that here fairly soon. We were delighted with with our set of candidates. It actually was really a strong set of candidates, so that was great. I want to talk a little bit about upcoming workshops. We are working on 2 for the HAPO Center. The first one will be on the master planning process, and that will be next week. So we will have some representatives and the contractor that's working on the master plan to come and present. We also will be doing an advisory committee meeting. I think I'll talk about that here in a moment as well. So we've got that going on. We also will, HWL did a presentation to the HAPO Advisory Center at the end of last year on a 2024 end of the year report, and we've had folks asking about that. So we're going to have them come and do the end of the year report to the board in your entirety. We probably will do a first quarter kind of inclusion of some other things that have been going on out there as well as what to look forward to in 2025. I think Mike McCall's here now, and Mike and I will be coordinating that. On the HR front, I think there's going to be 2 separate workshops for you. The first one we've already talked about, which is on benefits, is start to get you talking about benefits, as it takes a long time to do benefit changes. So starting that early this year and having that in place for 2026 if you so choose to do changes. And then also want to start a discussion on the salary matrix and just have a kind of a briefing on it, making sure we're all on the same page. I think there's a variety of things happening because of minimum wage at our lower end, and a few things happening with that. So we want to have just an open discussion about the salary matrix and just start your perspectives and discussions about that. If you have other workshop agenda items that you want to bring forward, I know I've talked to during the budget discussions, and I've talked to Craig about having a briefing on the solid waste program. It was one of those items that you did have some interest in having a briefing on, and so that's another one that I thought we should bring to the board during a workshop setting as well. On the HAPO front, just a couple of quick things. I have initiated work with the Department of Commerce to secure the $3 million grant and all the necessary materials and paperwork for that, and we'll be meeting with them on a regular basis. I've got a meeting with a couple of staff members and Mr. Briggs and I to kind of make sure that we fully understand the contractual responsibilities we will need and all the things we need to fulfill for that $3 million agreement. And then also be meeting with the staff to kind of really make this final determination about this design build or design bid, making sure that we've got, the clarification. I know you went through a bidding process before. There was concerns about whether or not we had followed the proper RCW, and so we need a definitive direction so we can proceed on moving forward with whatever we need to properly do, either design bid or design build. So. And again, the advisory committee is meeting next Wednesday, where they will also, this is in the afternoon, where they will also be looking at the master plan, so that activity. If you're not stopped by out there, please feel free. New carpet, new painting. It's got a really fresh look. Really, I want to thank Mike and his team for all the work that they are doing out there. One of the things that we can also begin to look forward to, and we'll probably have this discussion during the kind of the year-end report, is really a better understanding of all the activities that are both planned but are also scheduled as well. I want to transition to talk about the county administrator recruitment, which is, we have initiated next week. I think we will be working to have kind of which is GMP Consultants. Our lead consultant that will be assisting us is Debbie Terry, and so she will be reaching out and will coordinate with Margot for interviews with you all next week. And we have a number of other folks in both the courthouse and other community folks that she will be reaching out to just to do some quick outreach of what you are interested in a new county administrator, what are the important issues the county's facing, and preparation for preparing the recruitment and then ultimately conducting the initial set of interviews to whittle down the set of candidates. The initial recruitment is set to go out the last week of January. We would expect sometime in mid-March to have an executive session with you all to review the qualifications for at least a subset of potential candidates for final interviews. Final interviews, of course, will be conducted in open public meeting. You can again go in to talk about qualifications, but your decisions and all those interviews will be in open public meetings. And there's more things that we can talk about as well later on about, do you want to do any community meetings with the final candidates? There's some other things that sometimes other entities do. Margot is coordinating a number of items that are going to them with information. The last item that I wanted to talk to you about.
Before you move
Yes.
on, what
But
did you say?
this is still related to the
Yes,
to
but
this.
the DMP consultant's first name?
GMP. It's Greg Prothman. It's Greg Prothman.
Yes,
If you,
but who is the person?
I'm sorry, Debbie.
Debbie.
Debbie Terry.
And it's GMP,
GMP. Yes, as in Greg.
not DMPG.
Yep.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
And they have done a number of things in the Tri-Cities area as well. So,
Okay, thank you.
and if you recall, Prothman, the Prothman group, I won't get into the details. They've kind of split, but the Prothman actually did the recruitment back in 2015 as well. The last one I wanted to talk about is compensation for the county administrator. I'll be bringing a recommendation to you next week in regards to that. The current salary cap for that position is roughly, I think, 152.5, somewhere in that vicinity. Frankly, I'll be honest, I'm concerned that that may be at the low end of what you will need to recruit a really viable candidate. Just my initial look at what I will call comparable counties that have what I would consider like county administrators. That term is used widely. And that does not necessarily, a county administrator in one county does not necessarily mean what it is in another county, where they have supervisory authority over department heads. They might have budget and facilities or IT. They might have some internal services, but they may not have the full spectrum. And so in looking at what I would call 4 really comparable counties to you, these are all west side ones because I've yet to really delve deeper into east side that I would say comparable in size that have county administrators. Lewis, Grays Harbor, Mason, and Island, they range from 155 to 189 in a range. So you may think about looking at a salary range. And the reason we're having this discussion and having it in open discussion is when the recruitment goes out, we'll need a salary range. And so that'll be a decision, and we'll try and talk about that and have some decisions for you to make next week in regards to that. And you can leave it at that. You can say negotiable. There's a lot of capabilities that you have out there, but at the same time, I think you may want to be pondering the fact that you may need to be greater than 155 to have a recruitment of the caliber of candidate that I think you want.
Thank you.
So that's on the GMP and the recruitment. A couple things in the behavioral health world. Commissioner Mullen and I attended, probably stealing your storm, sorry, Behavioral Health Advisory Committee last Thursday, I guess it was. I'll just hit the highlights from what I thought, because the things that I think will be coming back to the board at some point in the next couple months. Benton County is working on the operations agreement for the Columbia, I always get this wrong, but the Columbia Valley Center for Recovery, I think is the actual title. And so, you know, undoubtedly, you know, and there's been discussions, we bifurcated them when we went with allocating resources to just the construction of the desire to also provide any assistance in the operations. And so we'll be having that conversation undoubtedly after Benton County has gets a contract or first contract for operations. A field responder program is something else that the advisory committee has been talking about, and that may be a joint one, or we may do separate agreements to one to deliver services in Franklin and one to deliver services in Benton. So we'll see about how that might look like. And then there's another program that Benton County is going to go under contract for. It's called the Joan Texting Therapy Program. It's designed and targeted at therapy and counseling for teens and young adults using an app. You can Google it, it's JOON. There's a $50,000 grant that is available for the county. Benton County will choose to match that grant as well. You don't have to. But again, it's another technology-based application. So just some things that undoubtedly will be coming your way. It might be something I was actually talking briefly with Matt Rasmussen and Cindy Saunders a little bit about, perhaps, who's with the BHO ASO, about having kind of a workshop on kind of the realm of BHO, of behavioral health items and issues from their perspectives, both relating to the construction of the Columbia Valley Center for Recovery, which they'll probably be ready for some degree of a construction tour sometime in the next couple of months. They've gutted the building for the most part, and as soon as they perhaps have drywall up, they it'll start taking shape and they'll be ready for a construction tour. So again, we talked about if you have other workshops. Mr. Briggs and I will be working together on a property management ordinance for you. He's got a draft available. He and I will meet hopefully this week before I leave town. We'll be able to have a meeting and kind of get at least that start. And maybe we'll do that in a workshop format as well, just to start with before we bring that back. I think those are the highlights that I have, and I'm available for any questions that you have.
Questions?
Yeah, thank you. Workshop item I think would be helpful is about the field responder program and that June program.
Okay.
Would love to have some more. I know a little bit about it, been researching some, and would love to know some more about that. And the advisory committee, they have a couple of subcommittees with that they do a couple of different things. Do you know if they have any plans to the field responder program? Do they have anything set up where they're going to go research or visit other programs? I know that Spokane has quite a number of field responder in the field, been working. There's a Columbia Valley Center for Recovery-like organization in Spokane, and I know that they have quite a few different ways that they do field responder deals. If there's a chance of that, I would be happy to do that, and I had planned already to go to Spokane and to visit and try to learn more, and have been invited up there, and so I think that would be a great workshop item, is to really kind of dig in deep on that and have a clear and better understanding. And
That'd be great. I will work, and I'll see who else. I'll probably work with Kyle as well. I think Kyle might have left, but to see what type of kind of workshop development would go with that. Commissioner Mullen may have some ideas as well. He sat through some of these meetings. My goal was never, as I even commented, was not to make too many comments that would get me on a subcommittee. So I've been trying to avoid those. But yes, okay.
now we know what we need to do
Yeah.
to keep him around. Well, you're on the subcommittee. You can't leave.
No.
So on your HAPO dates for the workshops, do you have dates on those?
Well, I just have the one date so far, and that's the
next week?
Next week.
Okay.
And Mike and I have not talked about finalizing a date.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
for the year-end report
yep,
presentation.
okay. All righty, well, thank you very much.
Did you have another question, Commissioner? I'm not sure.
I think that's good.
Yep. But just to let you know, there was another Navigator program, I think was another one we had a presentation on, which was largely focused, but not solely on drug court, therapeutic courts, and helping assure there was a navigator really assisting someone. And it was kind of a peer-to-peer navigator. So we had a presentation on that as well. And they have one based in Spokane on a navigator program as well.
That might be that could be a pretty robust workshop session
Yep.
where that we
Yep.
have, you
Yep.
know,
A series of kind of what's going on in the area, and as well as, you know, and there's a lot of opportunities. I think this is really be valuable for you in working with the advisory committee, is that, you know, you're about to commit about half of your available dollars. So what does a sustainable type of schedule look like then for the other portion of that 1/10 going forward? So, and being more strategic about it versus opportunistic, you know, first in, first out, but is this part of the strategy as well? So I think it's really a great opportunity to be thinking about that.
one thing that we had talked about in the fall of last year on workshops is to actually kind of into the last summer is to have the chair or designee of the Mental Health Advisory Committee present to us once a month in a you know, a workshop setting or just kind of a report setting. I made the comment back then that we have these advisory people, but there's never really a structured way that they report, and that they're truly their thing is to empower us with good decision-making material and information. And so we'd love to get it set up where that maybe once a month that there's a, you know, it doesn't have to be fancy, but if the Behavioral Health Advisory Committee would come and report and advise and so forth, I think that would be really helpful.
Yep.
All right, Commissioner Bauman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attended the WASAC Legislative Steering Committee meeting, the kickoff meeting, the day before session started over in Olympia. That was about a little over half a day meeting, and really appreciated learning. Earlier this morning, I gave the packet to you guys that was provided to us. This is a once a year packet that kind of goes through and explains what all of the processes and procedures, decorum and everything will look like with the Legislative Steering Committee. There's a couple of issue papers in there that one of them which was ratified, the second which was put on hold for 2 weeks, and some good information in there. Just kind of thought that you guys might like perusing that. Ben Franklin Transit Board meeting, and then I was invited to testify to the Senate's Local Government Committee, and the topic was clear and objective standards, and wanted to know what our thoughts were on that. So was thankful for that invitation, and appreciated the opportunity to testify there. Just a few comments. Mike, the Hapo Center looks fantastic. Thank you so much for your hard work. You know that I've been stopping by sometimes every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and your staff is doing a great job, and appreciate how cleaned up, and the paint and the new flooring and so forth is really starting to transform that, and I just wanted to say thank you to you and your staff for that. Another thing is, not sure if this is too early. I don't think it is. Start prepping for the parking lot resurfacing there at the Hapo Center, and start preparing for whatever's necessary so that we can do that first thing in the spring when weather permits, instead of waiting later on. I think that we should prepare for that. We talked about the field responder June program and a potential workshop there. I think that would be valuable. And then, Mr. Chairman, February 19th, I believe, is a possibility of being a large meeting with a big audience, and would maybe recommend that we consider maybe having that meeting at the Hapo Center so that there's opportunity and ability, so that that can be accessed by any and all that wish. So, Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Commissioner Mullen.
So had the chamber luncheon meeting. Pam Lewison from the Washington Policy Center, who's Director, Center for Agricultural, gave her presentation. One of the things that I got out of the presentation was the possibility of the increase for the B&O tax, which is business and occupation tax. It's based on your gross, and there is rumor that they could be increasing that between 5 and 10%. Well, when you run a small business, especially like a restaurant, where you work off of a 4% profit, raising your B&O tax 5 to 10% would be, you'd be basically working for nothing. So that's very concerning. I went out to the Hapo Center. Mike, yes, it looks great outside. I drove around the back, and there's been a lot of work that's been done there, and I really appreciate the hard work and effort put into that. Had the elected and department head meetings last week. Also, as Eric Johnson stated, joined in to the Benton Franklin Health Advisory meeting. Pierre Washington made the presentation. They are looking always for volunteers, and that is a grant-funded group. So with construction is underway, they think they'll have the drywall done by March. So that's exciting to see that come to fruition. Just want to say thank you to everybody who works on the Health Advisory Board. They're volunteers, and it's a much-needed service in our community, and I just want to reach out and say thank you to everyone that's doing such a great job and for their hard work. And that concludes my...
Thank you, Commissioner Mullen.
Yes.
So yes, Ben Franklin Transit meeting last week. And again, I'm just asking everybody to please engage and recognize the buses that are moving around town and the amount of people that are on them. Because honestly, in Franklin County, I think that we could probably take the $18 million in sales tax and take it down to 6 and move everybody with VIA and move them comfortably to where they need to go, over to the hubs on the west side, or over to the Benton County, excuse me. Very concerning there because, again, the tax is still in place and they're looking for ways to spend money. Veteran and military Zoom meeting yesterday for 2 hours. Listened to doctors that are in the veterans, the military, people that have taken the vaccine and the ill effects that they've had from it. And there's some whistleblowers that are coming forward and giving out the facts of what's being covered up, what's not being reported. A lot of very disturbing testimony from people within the military that are coming forward with this. And Commissioner Malman alluded to it. On February 19th, we're going to have, again, Dr. Cole, who never got to present, and another world-renowned doctor that are going to be here to present on miscarriages and reproductive problems with this vaccination that is not FDA approved. It'll be February 19th from 10 to 11 a.m., and I think that might be a good idea to have this at the Hapo Center as long as the cost to the county is not an extreme amount of money. I'm all in favor of accommodating the people that probably are going to attend, and it's going to be a lot of people because I've been announcing this everywhere I go. I think people need to be informed about the dangers of this vaccination to their children that is being promoted. Then read an article about our new elected governor, Ferguson, and he has appointed a domestic extremism and mass violence task force. There are 31 members on this. Some of these members do not live within the state of Washington. They're outside of our state. They had their first meeting November 22nd. They've had their second meeting on January 10th. And one member of this task force is a member of the BLM. Black Lives Matter, which was responsible for 2 young black men being killed during the takeover there in Seattle at that one area, and I can't remember what they called that area. The Chaz area, yes. And again, we're looking at a $16 billion shortfall in this state, and they're looking at an increase to B&O. They're also looking at an income tax. They're looking at ways to tax us more to make up for their spending problem. We don't have a taxation problem, we have a spending problem. And we need to, as Franklin County Commissioners, make it known that we don't agree with their spending problem. However, we may do that, and we'll be looking for Jeff as our advisor on this, and Eric, Mr. Johnson, to help us maybe formulate a letter and send it to the state. That concludes my report, moves us down to public comment, if there's anybody in the room for public comment.
Good morning, Michelle Andrews, and I'm going to wait till I have all the attention because last week nobody looked. They shuffled papers, so thank you. Now my 3 minutes can begin. I wholeheartedly agree that we need to move our public transportation to our county. I wholeheartedly agree that we're looking at hiring a county administrator. I do want to bring to your attention that thank you. That
Mr. Chairman, that's out of order.
that is not out of order to ask for your attention as a taxpayer.
Ms. Andrews has 3 minutes, so please continue.
So that usually the public has an opportunity to interview and talk to the 3 finalists. We did that before when your last county administrator was hired, and we would sure appreciate if you would include that per the common practice. There is another taxation. They're going to tax us on everything we ship to our homes. That's another bill. So it's probably good for, local business, but, then you've got Amazon. My one final comment, and this is a potpourri, is I'm going to go back to the gas turbine systems. They put out as much power as one turbine in the dam or very close. You have a facility, the infrastructure is already built. They need replacement, but the infrastructure is already there, and would call on you to go to our PUD in our city and collaborate in bringing more business here, therefore more homes, more property taxes, to support this growth that we have here in Franklin County that's going to make us viable. And I went to Matt Benke's, Legislator Benke's town hall, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, it's going to be about 10 years before they get all these these little nuclear power plants in. At least that's my understanding. We need to act before, because you can build those gas turbines up until 2045. And I do believe that we have a new administration starting January 20th that will be in favor of that. Furthermore, I would go and look up Devin Nunes's death by drought in California and look at what's happening here and take note as you talk to Mr. Baumgartner. Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room for public comment? Nobody on the phones? No. Okay. Do we have a need for an executive session?
Yes, we do, Chair. Under RCW 4230-110-1I, potential litigation, we need 10 minutes. Myself, county executive, county administrator, and the board, as well as Mackenzie Lloyd from my office could be present, and the clerk of the board as well.
Okay. So at this time, we'll recess into executive session for 10 minutes, starting at letting the room get cleared. We'll start at 9:41. Thank you. We have come out of executive session. We're back to regular session. And at this time, I will adjourn the meeting. And we will go into closed session. Mackenzie left. Did she? Yeah. She'll be right back. So we'll go into closed session, and we don't have to give a time on that. Okay.